Patriots, Bravo Echo here. Road trip time. Wanted to share some thoughts with you. As many of you know, when I do road trips, I'm constantly thinking and looking at changes and threats and how events around us can impact us on the local level. There's one thing specific that I want to talk to you about, and have any of you been to the grocery store lately? Yeah, we've talked about the rising prices and difficulty and for many in paying the increased cost, $6-7 for a jar of mayonnaise, $11 for a regular sized can of coffee. I was at a location the other day and a gentleman paid just over $6 for a gallon of milk, which is astronomical. I was thinking about it, and when we hear the numbers being reported of unemployed and new jobs and word is we've been hearing more prevalent in the media trafficking, which has been around for a long time, but the trafficking of kidnapping females and kidnapping children and babies. And as I said, if you've ever sat in a parking lot and you have watched people coming out of stores, whether it's a clothing store, a mall, or a grocery store, they're always in a hurry. They're walking oftentimes with their head down, or they're trying to eye where their car is at because they forgot, and they're not paying attention to what's around them, whether they're being followed. Is there potentially a vehicle, a van parked near their car? Is someone telling them from the next row over? They don't pay attention at all. You may be walking out of a store and there's a vehicle sitting there with a hood up, posing to have engine problems, trying to get your attention to come over, maybe asking if they can borrow your phone, and you're focused on that, and someone comes up behind you, and the next thing you know, you're thrown in a vehicle, or they try to steal your child or your food. Okay. Oftentimes this occurs, it starts inside the store, and individuals watching who's pushing either large quantities of items in a buggy, or a female with a child, or more than one child, or when they go to pay, they pull out, instead of plastic, they pay with cash, and they pull out an envelope and start counting 20s, 50s, or 100s out of their envelope. Okay? There may be someone nearby who's watching and either radios or texts someone on the outside of the description of the person coming out that's going to be the target. Alright? And the person is probably not going to know that they're the target until it's potentially too late. Okay? So, with winter coming up and the holidays coming up in a couple months, crime's going up still. Nothing is changing, and it's only getting worse. So I would suggest to you that you focus a little closer to what you're doing. When you walk out that store, have your eyes up, looking around you, what's around you, and park at a location, if it's after dark, with good lighting. If you see something that's out of the ordinary, that scares you or bothers you, go back into the store. Go back in, let someone, a manager or someone in the store know that you're afraid, or you feel there's a potential threat on the outside, and just proceed with caution. The individual who is potentially the one or a group who is going to pose the problem to you, they may not target you